bit about my motherfucking friend, and then we're gonna bring the beautiful Lady K up to share some wonderful poetry. All right, Kwamise Fletcher, known as Lady K, channels the healing power of spoken and written word as therapy for the soul. Her poetry serves as the battle cry for her ancestors, addressing societal challenges through deeply personal and relatable journeys. A competitive spoken word artist, Lady K is the 2025 Grand Slam champion for the Loudmouth Poetry Slam team in California, a nationally ranked Woman of the World poet, and currently ranked number 6 in the country as a competitive spoken word artist. Her work includes a spoken word album, The Essence of Lady K, and published pieces in chapbooks Collective Consciousness Volume 3 and Say It Louder Volume 2 and 3. She has also authored 2 self-published collections, I Stand 10 Toes Down and Heavy is the Pen, Words into Healing, a Black woman's soul journey. Lady K's words inspire, empower, and transform through the art of storytelling. Everybody keep the energy hot. Put the hearts up, the fire emojis, the drum rolls. We got Lady K coming to the stage for Poetry Tuesday.
Ooh, I got it right this time.
Ooh, we're flipping around.
There we go. There we go.
Hey!
Let me fix it. Hold on. Let's see. Hi, everybody.
Amazing. Good luck.
How are y'all doing today?
Oh, it's a wonderful Poetry Tuesday. The poetry's been hot. Thank you for coming in early and just showing love and supporting the other poets too. And I appreciate you taking the time to be here and to share your beautiful art with us. If you guys haven't had the pleasure of seeing Lady K perform, it is a profound performance. You exist in the poem. You live the poetry. And like I was telling Bonita Poetry earlier, like I felt like her second poem, I felt like I really got to know you a little bit more. I feel like the same way about your poetry. You have such a beautiful way of talking about impactful, deep, personal subject matters that is relatable, but somehow also is like an insight to the experiences that you've had and the triumphs, and getting to see you stand tall and proud and confident is inspiring, really, to hear those stories and all of the hardships, and then to be like, wow, and she's still here doing the damn thing.
Thank you so much. I think that was the purpose of me starting to do poetry. Literally, when I say in my bio that, I always say that I didn't find poetry, poetry found me. And I couldn't imagine, I think a lot of times, especially in minority communities, I can only speak from the lens of a Black woman because that's my lived experience. But I feel like a lot of times there's so many things that we don't talk about in our communities. I'm sure there's a lot to go into that, but we hide a lot of things and we don't talk about it. And for me, a part of doing this, whether it be competitively or just, features, whatever the case may be, from the very beginning, it needed to be authentic for me. And I wanted to talk about stories that I hadn't heard before, in so many ways. And being, a little bit more mature, starting this off, I feel like there was a lot more like lived experience that I had to kind of like shed some light on things. And I am a person that is always an open book. Everything that I have been through in my life has made me the person that I am today. And I'm extremely proud of that person. And I think there's a lot of stories that we don't talk about that need to be talked about, especially as women of color.
Yes.
we just don't talk about it. And so whether I'm on a slam stage, I'm, here, wherever it is, I just feel like there's so many things that we need to talk about. And when you do it through the lens of poetry, it gives it a little bit more like beauty. It's not so raw. Some people can they can suck, they can take it in a little bit better when you do it through the lens of poetry instead of like, I'm just like, you need to listen to me say this.
Right. You say it with a metaphor and it sounds cute.
Right? Like it hits a little different. And so, I have been through some things in my life. So, I am happy to talk about them and, just kind of go through all the motions and do all the things. So thank you so much for having me. I love you. I love you.
I love you too. You're incredible. And
thank you so much. Yeah, I especially my extended family through my best friend is going through some transitions right now. So I probably look a little crazy because I've been in a lot of hospital rooms very early in the morning, just trying to be a support system for my family. So just keep everybody in, your prayers, that, people can transition, and make it to the other side in as peaceful a way as possible. And I just want them to know that I love them, and I always support them through everything. So
yes, love to them, and I'm hoping peace upon their family. I also wanted to share that you had Jazzy Garcia say, I love LadyK's poetry. She brings her poetry to life and creates an image for us to see. She's so real. Her book is beautiful.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm also working on simultaneously working on two new collections. One called The Duality of My Dichotomies, which is really about, there's so many layers to us as, I would say everyone, but I feel like women, like we have a little bit more spice to us when it comes to unraveling all of the layers. And there's so many things about me that are dualities. There's different pieces of me that you get depending on, who you are in my life and how much I let you in. So I'm working on that, as well as I am currently going through perimenopause, and it is kicking my ass.
Yeah, perimenopause. We need to talk about that more. And
we don't, we really don't.
Every half of the world will go through menopause, and so we have to consider that we can not talk about it, but it's going to be best to educate and for women to on menopause, for our older generation to talk to our younger generation about the experiences they're having, the health, the remedies, the tips, the things that work, the things that make you feel better. And I will say, not getting too much off the subject, but a little bit relatable, there is a book that I highly, highly, highly recommend. And it's so easy to remember because it's called How to Menopause. And I highly recommend that book. It was written by Tamsin Fidel. She partnered with women doctors, women psychologists, women that are studying hormones and that specialize in menopause, and all of these women that have gone through the experiences and have studied the experiences to share information. Just share.
Yeah, we don't talk about it.
Power.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. So many people's symptoms are so different, and so individualized. So it's hard to kind of have a roadmap to this. And because, I started this journey a little bit later, that means that, I'm smack dab now in even the beginnings before menopause even comes. And so, as a poet, obviously I write about it. So I also am working on a collection that's called Unconfirmed RSVP, which is about kind of a little bit how, the direct feelings of the hot flashes and all of the things, but also how detached you feel from, your body. And it's so like, there's so many things that are going on all at once. So a lot of times I don't feel like I'm in control of a lot of it. And it makes it navigating and still showing up normally in the world, right? When you're going through all these changes, I'm competing and stuff like that. Literally, my whole life right now is how to avoid a hot flash. So my fashion choices, like things that I know, my memory is shit right now. So like memorizing new pieces for competition, like all of these things are like simultaneously happening.
Affecting your life.
My day to day, my mood swings are crazy. I'm already a Gemini, so
you're like crying on the stage. They're like, was it that deep? Like you're like, I'm using it for good.
I literally have been teaching workshops, and all of a sudden I'm busting out crying. I'm like, what?
Oh, baby,
what are we doing here? So, like I said,
well, I'll send you that information. It does talk about perimenopause. It talks about menopause. I think it's very important for anybody at any age, women, men, non-binary, everybody to read the book, because you will experience menopause, or somebody in your life will experience menopause, and being educated about menstruation, women's cycles, and menopause is important. We need to be aware of what we're experiencing and what we're going through. And, for the men that ignorantly talk about, like, I'm on my man period and, stupid shit like that, we really have to, like, learn to, like, re-educate that we do care about men's mental health, and men do have hormonal changes. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
But they are not experiencing the bloodshed, the physical effects. And I think that there's just it's just knowledge. It's just simple knowledge and empowerment, knowing what to eat, knowing what movements to do, learning to slow down, honor rest, and how to function with all of that amongst capitalism. So
absolutely.
Kudos to you for doing the poetry through all of that shit. For, a lot of people might not be experiencing perimenopause or menopause specifically, but a lot of performers and artists can relate to their life, their personal life affecting their art, their life, their mental health, depression, anxiety, social anxiety, BPD. There can be so many different things that we're experiencing: grief, loss, financial hardships, all of these different things. And we're showing up to these slams, and we're showing up to these showcases and these features, and we're just wanting to do poetry and share the art. And I think we can all remember to give each other that much more grace, patience, love, understanding, and kindness, especially in those spaces. And we can be proud for the people that show up. And we know those people that come, perform, and leave, and they ain't supporting nobody, and they on their ego shit. But we also know sometimes we tired, boss. So we need to respect that every poet can't spend 8 hours at every open mic and every slam. And just reaching out to a few poets a week that you saw in the scene and say, yo, I saw you at blah, 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 Mike, earlier this week. Just wanted to tell you, congrats for being there. Good on you for showing up for yourself. How many more times can we say that to ourselves as well? Like, say it to ourselves, say it to our peers, say it to our community. I'm going to shut up now. After I answer any of your poetry's question, how do I sign up? You click the request to join. You click the camcorder with the plus. It'll sign you up. You'll be on the roster of signups for people. If you leave the open mic because you gotta like answer a text message or something, you leave the live and then you come back on, it will like remove you from the list. So you do have to request to join again. But yeah, request to join. Click the camcorder button with the plus. We're featuring LadyK poetry. I'm gonna give you the floor. I hope you can take it away, and I'm gonna mute myself.
All right, y'all. So I'm going to do a little sneak peek of a set that I'll be doing in person on Sunday as a feature as well. So any feedback or, thoughts are much appreciated. And I'll go ahead and get started. I like to take you on a journey. One that encapsulates equal parts cautionary tale and divine purpose. You see, this mocha melanated magic is Black girl beauty personified, dripping and seeping from every pore within my bountiful bosom is both intrigue and fantasy, double dipped with eloquent intelligence and mystery. A heart of priceless gold, one that has been used and abused, misunderstood, but still is determined for goodwill and peace. A poet whose poetry is her battle cry for her ancestors. One who has often been told she's too bold, too loud, doesn't fit prettily into the boxes others try and stifle her in. A little black girl who navigated a tumultuous childhood, one in which she wasn't black enough for the black kids, and never would she ever be white. A little girl with a proclivity towards an elevated vocabulary and precise articulation meant that she was oftentimes accused of having a desired propensity towards whiteness. God forbid she just have a love of books and words. Who do you think you are using all them big words? You sound like a white girl because being black sounds a particular way. That little girl hadn't become this beautiful black woman standing before you today, who with my head held high and my shoulders back. Only now can I confidently say to my haters, check it. I'm lyrically gifted, spiritually lifted, poetically inclined to run circles around the linguistically challenged, study long, study wrong when confronted by my masterfully crafted wordplay, meant to leave you mentally conflicted and debating my meanings while I artfully saunter into my next verbal masterpiece. Now that I've got your attention, let me formally introduce you to LadyK. It took me years to claim this voice and even longer to claim this body. Next piece. This one is new shit and it's called Laid Bare. A famous poet recently told me I needed to watch the footage of me fucking. My first instinct flinch, flesh folding in on itself like my body remembered all the mirrors I dodged. I laughed it off, but truth, that giggle was a gag order. Shyness and yeah, a little disgust, not for the act, but for the witness. For the playback, for the body caught in 4K, stretching into pleasure like it stole something. You think climax was soul work, but it felt like surveillance, like reviewing crime scene footage where my insecurities bled into the sheets. Cameras rolling, body unarmed, hands trembling like a suspect caught mid-prayer. The bed chalk outline, the moan siren, and I am the suspect, the scene, and the silent witness to my own undoing. It's wild how easy it is to treat intimacy like trespassing. Because when you're a big girl, your cravings get cross-examined, desire becomes deviant, pleasure is probable cause, your thighs are breaking and entering. And the world doesn't write poems about us, they write punchlines. Scripts where soft bellies equal comedy, where stretch marks equal censorship. They don't call this erotica, they call it a fetish. Say this ain't a feature, just a flick men fast forward through after the nut. Our bodies relegated to shadows, a secret snack and shame meal. They never hold our hands in daylight, but they leave bite marks in the dark. We ain't muses, we the muted, archived in silence like a bootleg film they swear they never saw. They don't love us in the open, they only consume us. Behind closed captions, volume down, lights off, credit roll. And that shit seeps into you, becomes sediment in the spirit, so when someone says, I need to watch this footage of me fucking, I see the blooper reel, all the you cute for a big girl, all the I've never done this before, like I'm a kink that needs a non-disclosure. See, the version of me you get on stage, well, you see, that's curated chaos. Trauma in a tux, it's pain pressed and pleaded, dressed in metaphor, just raw enough to feel real, but clean enough for applause. I bleed in iambic pentameter so you can clap with clean hands. But this ain't that. This ain't no pretty poem polished for palatability. This is me belly out, breath raw, moaning in a language I ain't fully learned to love yet. No punchlines or filters, just footage. A soft body in full motion making noise in a world that told her to hush her hunger. But then something shifts. The shame splits and suddenly what I thought was a crime scene starts blooming like a love scene shot in slow motion. The caution tape turns red satin. The angles softened, and I realized maybe what I feared was evidence was actually testimony. A confession that I am not broken for wanting to be seen in my entirety, not the edited shot or the highlight reel, but the whole damn film. I survived enough silence to moan without apology. I rewrote the script where my body ain't no guilty pleasure. It's a holy one. I ain't a shadow. I'm spotlight. I ain't a secret. I'm a sermon. I ain't a phase. I'm the fucking feature presentation. Soft, sovereign, sacred, and worthy of every single frame. Thank you. That's that piece. We're going to keep it right on going. I have a couple
Wow, though. How keep it going by wow, though.
Thank you. I've been writing. You can't, I get the honor to be able to share the stage with amazingly talented poets all over the country. So these two pieces that I'm doing, that last one and this one, you can't help but be inspired and write some new stuff once you come from some of these rooms. And a slight backstory, and then I'll get back into it. So the famous poet was Ayanna Florence, and we were in Vegas, actually, for her feature. And afterwards, don't ask me how we got into the conversation. There was probably drinks involved. And it came out about, basically body positivity, being confident in yourself, and that, you needed to look at yourself in the mirror when you was getting it in. And so that is the inspiration from that piece. So thank you, Ayanna. She has heard the full version of it. So I appreciate you for giving me that insight, and I'm working on it. But I wanted to do, a couple different types of pieces. So this one is called The Kind of Bullying That Has No Name. I wasn't pushed or punched. I didn't bleed in bathrooms or get my hair yanked by mean girls with sharp tongues. No, my pain came quiet, came dressed in silence and cloaked in absence. It built calluses around my spirit in all the places no one could see. It's the kind that doesn't leave bruises, but it leaves a blueprint of broken you end up building your whole self around. I was the little black girl who didn't talk or live black enough. Didn't wrap my words in the dialect they decided was authentic. My blackness was policed by my own. Like it needed permission slips to exist. Like identity had a dress code, and I kept showing up in the wrong damn uniform. What good is exceptional if it only makes you feel more alone? No one actually said that I didn't belong. They just never made room. They locked the doors of community and called it culture, kept their circles tight and their silences tighter. And I became fluent in erasure. So I tried to build a desperate architecture of survival out of every broken piece of my longing. Tried to design my self-worth from the scratch paper of rejection. Tried to earn a seat at tables that never wanted my elbows to touch theirs. I smiled too hard. I gave too much. Softened myself until I didn't even recognize the shape of me. I thought if I brought enough gifts, grades, or grace, maybe I could barter my way into belonging. But none of it was the right currency, so I offered the only thing they seemed to want, my body, because the pussy ain't got no face to it. Because for 5 minutes being wanted felt close enough to being seen, even if I had to disappear to make it happen. And that's not my shame, but the world's failure for not protecting the little girl who tried to buy belonging with her softness, her kindness, her body, and her silence. That's what happens when the need to be chosen becomes louder than the need to be whole, when claiming feels like love, and love means giving away parts of yourself just to get held. But today I say her name, the girl who sat alone and folded herself small, the girl who kept showing up to closed doors with open hands. I say her name like a resurrection, a reckoning, the beat of a drum we buried way too soon. And I tell her, you were bullied by absence, and by silence, by the unspoken rules no one explained, but everyone enforced, but you survived. And that survival is sacred. You were never too much, never not enough. You were never the villain in a story that refused to write you in. Always the storm, always the seed they tried to bury. So my beautiful, intelligent, articulate, brown-skinned girl, you were always the poem. Thank you. That's that piece.
Yes, poet.
And for my last,
I did want to share, before you share your last piece, if that's okay. You had some just major love in the comments. You know, it's turning up. I'm sure you've seen them come in, but they've been telling you that they fuck with you.
Thank you so much.
Someone said a motherfucking sermon, which is a crazy combo. I love that, though. I love that, Darko. And then period, yep, yes, powerful. Literally, the feature presentation, a whole feature presentation. Go crazy then. That piece hits you in your chest. Phew. And Tommy also said it was cool that you got that poem from Ayana. I thought that was cool too. And then, well, Allah said this is speaking to my soul right now.
Yeah. Oh, thank y'all.
Snaps from Van. Lots of love. Please publish this. That's what Allah said about the last piece too. And you're truly amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That one will be in the duality of my dichotomies one.
Hey, check it out then, Allah. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And Black Leo Goddess also said, yes, I loved it all. I know that poet. Said inner ear poetry. I know that poet.
Yes. Hey, Brian. Okay, so y'all get to choose for the last piece. These both are very important to me, so it will make me know never mind. But one of them, if I do that one, you will get the extended version that I haven't done previously, and you will get to hear a little bit of my vocals in it as well. But it's up to y'all. Y'all can either choose another body positivity piece of The Ripest Fruit, or you can choose more of my religious journey in Beyond the Line. So y'all tell me. I'm looking at the comments. Like I said, the Beyond the Line ones, you will get a little vocals that will be brand new for y'all if you want that one, or the body positivity. Okay, vocals. Okay, I see it. Vocals. Okay. Lord, I don't know why I set myself up for this. Hold on. Let me get something to drink. Okay. Give me 2.2 seconds. 2.2. Okay. I just had to remember how it starts. Okay. Amen. 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 Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A greeting, yet you flinch. Your mind shackled by a single phrase that carries more weight than its simple meaning. Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings. You see me through a lens of misconception, faith as a locked door, my worth measured by your approval. But I've outgrown those constraints. I seek peace beyond the borders of doctrine. I embrace the quiet truth that hums beneath every prayer. Why burn books and ban questions? Because knowledge is the edifying equalizer, and that scares those who need control to maintain their confused sense of piety. I was baptized Baptist, schooled within a Catholic schoolhouse, cleansed by holy waters, given the sacrament as first communion, scolded in pulpits that preach grace but frowned at pants on women. I was taught silence in the language of sermons, told that obedience was holiness and submission sacred. From the garden to the minaret, from the altar to the ark, they've been writing me out since the beginning. Covered my power in cloth neck to ankle, while men stroll with knees exposed, free to lead, speak, and question. Modesty's burden laid at our feet, their weakness, our sin. Across scriptures and sanctuaries, I was called distraction. Less than or never enough, unless I was quiet, covered, and small. I worshipped beside alabaster hues in Pentecostal pews. I found Islam in my 20s and hate in a stranger's eyes. Why did you blow up those buildings as if my hijab were the subterfuge? The fuse. By my 40s, I knew God was not confined to a single path. Yet I feel like protest for coloring outside the lines you drew without asking. Never discuss religion or politics, they say. But maybe silence is the problem. Isn't it coincidence how the epicenter of three great faiths rests beneath the same skies? Jerusalem, claimed by Judaism's longing, Christianity's salvation, and Islam's ascension, all tracing back to Abraham, yet still shattering like blood-stained glass by conquest and creed. Everyone wants a corner of what should be common ground, Mecca in meaning marred by man-made borders. Isn't it funny how we all argue over who God loves more, as if heaven has a velvet rope? What if God is not in doctrine, but the breath between us? So I ask again, is it coincidence or calling that the holiest of places rests in the heart of conflict, not to test our faith, but to test our humanity? Maybe God isn't waiting behind some velvet rope choosing sides. Maybe God is waiting to see who dares to build a bridge instead of drawing a line. Now this poem is both sermon and sword, a sacred archive. See, who said a woman couldn't preach? And that's that piece. Thank y'all so much.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Who said? I like that shit. Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. I actually was really nervous to perform that piece, or when I wrote it, I went to a couple of people and I was like, I'm nervous because I know how people get about, their beliefs, their faith system. And so that one really was probably one of my most, even though y'all know I didn't talk about everything, that was absolutely my most intimate piece that I've ever done. Cause I've never really talked about like how I really feel about organized religion, and what my faith journey has been. So yeah, that piece was actually, even though I've talked about so many things, that actually was one of my most vulnerable pieces that I've ever written. Cause I've never talked about that stuff.
It's a very vulnerable subject. I appreciate you writing to it. I mean, in the beginning before you even started, like, I warned the people, like, this is how you do. Like, this is how you poetry, and that's why I respect and appreciate what you do, because I'm going to say this, like, for the record, I feel like a lot of people probably won't like it, but I feel like if your faith is so fragile that it can be broken by somebody's poem, like, was it even that strong in the first place? So...
If you just said a word.
I'm like, if you want to dress up as a slutty nun or wear an upside down cross on your forehead, I mean, you doing, like, you doing it. Like, but I'm like, I feel like if someone wants to take offense to that as someone that believes in the opposite of that, I'm like, it seems like a you problem. Like, I feel like you should probably go pray about that. Like, you should probably go, like, lean into your religion more so that you can believe in it more, or maybe fall away from it because it wasn't so strong in the first place. All love, I'm cool with God. I'm cool.
I ain't gonna say how much I agree with that. I'm gonna just let it sit right there because I feel pretty much the same way.
Yeah,
but
your poem said enough. You know what I mean? Your poem said enough. You know what's cool too is Tommy actually said that that's her favorite poem of yours now, or she said she thinks she felt like laying it out. She's probably going in between the top favorite, like, Wait, no, my favorite is yours right now. Yeah. This poem is so fucking good. No, she didn't say she thinks, she knows. She fucking knows.
Thank you so much.
It needs to be talked about, though. Thank you for sharing that. The singing is the perfect intro. Oh, I know, right? I love a little sing in the beginning or the end of a poem.
And that's another thing I'm working on. I can carry a little tune or two. So I'm really also trying to incorporate more of my singing into my poetry. I try to be an evolving artist, y'all. I try to, do the thing. So I'm working on incorporating more of my singing into my poetry. So
I love that.
Be on the lookout. There will be some pieces that I'm working on figuring out how to make that smooth transition.
I think that's beautiful. I am leaning more into music as well. I wouldn't say that I'm like the top vocalist, but I think it's about having the fucking audacity.
Yes.
Respectfully, seeing the amount of mid men that pick up a microphone and sing like they can, I think it's like my honor and duty as a woman.
So it's the words tonight.
I mean, like real, like the real of it is just, I think it's almost revolutionary to be imperfect as a woman, and I think I just want to continue to show up imperfectly and just show up in spaces where, was that in tune with rhythm, perfectly on pitch? Did you hit every note? I'm like, no, but did I have a good fucking time doing it? So I've been really highly considering blending like rock with poetry.
Oh, I love this. I love this. I'm probably one of the, I'm probably a music snob, because I grew up as a band kid. So that's probably one of the things that has prevented me from incorporating my singing, because I am someone that like, I can instantly hear if the pitch isn't right. And so I'm afraid to allow that amount of vulnerability to not be perfect. And sometimes me going in between my singing voice and my speaking voice doesn't translate as well.
Sorry, Darko just said tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. That's what I was laughing at.
So yeah, it's a journey.
The night that I will fall for you.
Yeah, it's a journey. I feel like more of us need to do it in a way that is more authentic, and just like you said, like not giving a care, like just doing it because you enjoy it. A lot of times I think we have a hard time with allowing ourselves to be imperfect, and yes. I'm okay with expressing my imperfections in my poetry. Why shouldn't I do that in my singing as well? So, and I'm all here for it.
People in the comments are telling you real shit. Yes, please do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just you have my support. And I wanted to share that with you too, like that. Yeah, I do think being imperfect is literally resistance, and I just think like as we continue to show up and represent women and tell stories and be the voice for the voiceless, that's the poet's job. We are the historians, and we speak for those that can't speak or that don't have the platforms to. It's like that's our opportunity to talk about hard topics and to also show up authentically and in a way that's like, yeah, I fucked up. Like, yes, I fucking am not a robot. I'm not AI, and I did it fucking imperfectly, and it was fucking beautiful and amazing. And that little voice crack kind of be sexy, like when
right,
like, that little crack, like you be like, oh, like you kind of like it, like, and then you know you have like the stickler in the back, like the vocal coach in the back, that's like, that was wrong. And it's like, okay, stick in the mud, like what the fuck. Thank you so much, LadyK.
Absolutely.
We could talk all night. I already know
right? It. Thank you for having me so much. You know how I feel about you. I love you guys. Vegas is always a vibe. You know, I don't go to places that I don't feel loved or received. So I appreciate all of y'all's support in everything that I've done.
LadyK.
Thank you so much. And I love y'all too. So thank you. I appreciate everybody. Absolutely. I can't wait to see everybody that's coming up. I'll be in the comments.
Yes, and make sure you leave them with how can they support you? How can they find you? I know we were chatting a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I forgot my job. My bad.
I want to leave them off with a call back. Like, you know, where are we sending them next after this? After this, where are they going?
You can follow me at LadyK Poetry. I got a lot of stuff going on this week. I'm outside for real. So I got things going on pretty much all the way through October. So stay locked into my social media, LadyK Poetry, on all social media platforms. I just released my poetry short film. It is on my YouTube page, which is also LadyK Poetry. Thanks so much. That's a part of my fellowship with Breakbox Thought Collective. So I appreciate them so much for allowing me the opportunity to create that. It's a piece that I'm extremely proud of. So please go check it out. Run those numbers up on my on my YouTube page. But yeah, everything is on there. I have merch for sale. It's in my bio, links to buy my books. If you see me out here in these streets, I always got my merch bag on me. Anytime you see any sort of LadyK logos, just know it's something available for you to be able to support me. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for the love. I really, truly, you guys just don't know how much support means in this community. As much as I enjoy doing this, I wouldn't be able to do it because I really started doing it because I got to hear such amazing poetry from such dope people. So that really is more of the point for me, is being in community with all y'all. So I completely appreciate all of it.